Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jennifer, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-host, Elizabeth. How are you today, Elizabeth?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'm really excited about today's topic because it's something that can make a huge difference in your language skills, vocabulary. Having a rich vocabulary allows you to express yourself more clearly and confidently in English, and it can really take your language abilities to the next level.
Absolutely. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your English skills, expanding your vocabulary is key. Today, we're going to share practical tips and strategies to help you enhance your vocabulary in a way that's both effective and enjoyable.
Yes, and we'll also discuss some common challenges that learners face when trying to learn new words and how to overcome them. Plus, later in the video, we'll have a call from one of our listeners who has been working on expanding their vocabulary and will share their experience with us. But before we get started, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Your support really helps us continue creating content to help you improve your English.
So, let's dive in. The first tip we want to share is to read regularly. Reading is one of the best ways to encounter new words in context. Whether it's books, articles, blogs, or even social media posts, reading exposes you to a wide range of vocabulary that you might not come across in everyday conversation.
That's a great point, Jennifer. When you read, you see how words are used in sentences, which helps you understand their meanings and how they fit into the language. To make the most of your reading, try to choose materials that are just a bit challenging for you, something that introduces you to new words but isn't so difficult that it's frustrating.
Exactly. And when you come across a word you don't know, don't just skip over it. Look it up and write it down. Keeping a vocabulary journal is a great way to track new words and review them later. You can write down the word, its definition, an example sentence, and even any synonyms or related words.
Yes, and reviewing your vocabulary journal regularly is key to retaining those new words. You can also take it a step further by using the new words in your own sentences. This helps reinforce the meaning and makes the word a part of your active vocabulary, not just something you recognize when you see it.
That's such an important strategy, Elizabeth. Another effective way to expand your vocabulary is by learning words in context. Instead of just memorizing lists of words, focus on how words are used in sentences and conversations. This will help you understand the nuances of meaning and how to use new vocabulary naturally in your own speech.
Definitely. For example, if you're learning the word resilient, don't just memorize the definition. Look for sentences where it's used, like she's very resilient, bouncing back quickly from setbacks. This gives you a better understanding of how the word is used in context.
Exactly. And don't forget to practice using new vocabulary in conversations. The more you use a word, the more it becomes a part of your active vocabulary. You can challenge yourself to use a new word several times in a day to really solidify it in your memory.
That's a great tip, Jennifer. Another method that can be really effective is learning word families. Instead of learning words in isolation, try to learn related words together. For example, if you learn the word happy, also learn happiness, unhappy, and happily. This helps you understand how words are related and how they can be transformed.
Yes, learning word families is a great way to expand your vocabulary quickly. It also helps you see patterns in the language, which can make it easier to guess the meaning of new words you encounter. Another useful strategy is to engage with different types of media. Watching movies, listening to podcasts, or even playing video games in English can introduce you to new vocabulary in a fun and engaging way.
Absolutely. Different types of media expose you to different styles of language, from formal to informal and even slang. This variety helps you build a more versatile vocabulary. And don't forget to practice with vocabulary apps or games. There are so many great tools out there that make learning new words fun and interactive.
That's a great point, Elizabeth. Apps like Anki or Quizlet allow you to create flashcards and test yourself on new vocabulary. You can also find games and quizzes that challenge you to match words with their definitions or use them in sentences.
Yes, and for those who enjoy a challenge, you can try setting daily or weekly vocabulary goals. For example, you could aim to learn 5 new words every day or 30 words in a week. Having a specific goal can motivate you to keep expanding your vocabulary consistently.
Definitely. And as you learn new words, it's important to review them regularly. Spaced repetition is a technique where you review words at increasing intervals over time, which helps move them from short-term to long-term memory.
That's such an effective technique, Jennifer. It's also helpful to associate new words with images or emotions. This can make them more memorable. For example, if you learn the word exhilarating, try to recall a time when you felt exhilarated, like riding a roller coaster. Connecting words to personal experiences can make them stick better.
Absolutely. Another tip is to learn synonyms and antonyms. This not only helps you expand your vocabulary, but also gives you more options for expressing yourself. For example, if you know the word big, you can learn synonyms like large, huge, gigantic, and antonyms like small or tiny.
Yes, learning synonyms and antonyms adds depth to your vocabulary and helps you avoid repetition in your speech and writing. It's also useful to practice with different contexts. For example, try using new words in different types of sentences, questions, statements, and commands. This helps you get comfortable using them in various situations.
That's a great suggestion, Elizabeth. And speaking of different contexts, don't forget about collocations, which are words that frequently go together. For example, we say, make a decision rather than do a decision. Learning common collocations can help you sound more natural when you speak.
Definitely. Collocations are a big part of natural-sounding English, so it's important to learn them as part of your vocabulary practice. Now, let's talk about another strategy that can really boost your vocabulary: immersing yourself in English.
That's such a powerful approach, Elizabeth. Immersing yourself means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. This could be through reading, listening, speaking, and even thinking in English. The more you immerse yourself, the more new words you'll naturally pick up.
Yes, and if you're in a situation where you can't physically immerse yourself, you can create an English-speaking environment wherever you are. Change the language on your phone or computer to English, follow English-speaking social media accounts, and try to think in English throughout the day.
That's a great tip, Elizabeth. And remember, vocabulary building is a gradual process, so be patient with yourself. Consistency is key. Even spending just 10 to 15 minutes a day on vocabulary practice can make a big difference over time.
Absolutely. And don't be discouraged if you forget a word or have to look it up multiple times. This is all part of the learning process. The more you review and use the words, the more they'll stick.
Definitely. And speaking of vocabulary learning, we have a caller today who wants to share their experience with expanding their English vocabulary. Let's take the call. Hi there, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Sarah, and I'm calling from London, UK. I've been following your channel for a while, and I wanted to share some tips that really helped me expand my English vocabulary.
We're so glad you called in. We'd love to hear about your experience. What strategies did you find most helpful?
Well, one thing that really helped me was reading a lot of books in English. I started with books that were a bit easier, and as I got more comfortable, I moved on to more challenging ones. Whenever I came across a new word, I would write it down and look it up later. I also tried to use those new words in sentences to make sure I understood them.
That's fantastic, Sarah. Reading books is such a great way to build vocabulary. Did you use any particular methods to make sure you retained those new words?
Yes, I did. I created flashcards for the new words I learned and reviewed them regularly. I also practiced using the words in conversations with friends. It was helpful to see the words in different contexts and hear how others used them.
Those are excellent strategies, Sarah. Flashcards and real-life practice are both powerful tools for solidifying new vocabulary. Did you face any challenges while expanding your vocabulary?
One challenge I encountered was remembering the words and their meanings over time. But I found that regularly revisiting my vocabulary journal and using the words in different situations helped a lot. It was also motivating to see my progress and how the new words were enriching my conversations.
It sounds like you've developed some effective habits, Sarah. Thanks so much for sharing your experience with us. Your tips will surely be valuable to our listeners.
Thank you for having me. I hope my experience can help others in their vocabulary journey.
We're sure it will. Thanks again, Sarah, and best of luck with your continued language learning.
Before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize the key strategies we discussed today. Remember to read regularly, use a vocabulary journal, learn words in context, and practice using new words in conversations. Also, try learning word families, engaging with different types of media, and setting vocabulary goals.
And don't forget to immerse yourself in English as much as possible and be consistent with your practice. Building your vocabulary takes time and effort, but with these strategies, you'll make great progress.
That's right. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more practical tips on improving your English.
We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Keep practicing and expanding your vocabulary.
Until next time, happy learning.
Bye for now.